Hi everyone. Today, I want to talk about why we're passionate about doing what we're doing. Why we're building InVastor Coins. Looking back years back when Bitcoin was formed, I think Satoshi's intention was honestly to make sure that. Sorry, I'm going to set up this lip. Well, so his intention was to make it easy for people to, you know, um, send money to each other, free people from banks, middlemen, centralized control, whether it's government. But over time, its day-to-day use has changed, and now it's more of a speculative asset, which is okay. But it has made it so hard for the everyday person to actually be able to use Bitcoins. So Bitcoins is a great store of value, but Bitcoin cannot be used on a day-to-day basis. If you talk to anyone who holds some Bitcoin, they'll tell you that they don't want to spend their Bitcoin. So how does this help societies or like developing countries where there's every other day the government is printing money, so the value of money that people are holding is actually less valuable every time, every year. The value of money in developing countries, especially, even in the developed world, the value of money depreciates every single year. So if you put $1,000 under your mattress and you come back after 3 years, the things that $1,000 will have bought for you today cannot buy for you. You cannot afford them in 3 years' time, even 2 years. Actually, now with even the tariffs and all that is going on, you can't afford to put money away, $1,000 away, and come back after a few months and think your $1,000 has appreciated in value. So what this means is that when Bitcoin was being created, I believe Satoshi believed, yes, it'll grow in value. 0.0001 cent will not have held for all that time. So he believed that the value of Bitcoins will keep going up. I don't know if he envisioned the value of Bitcoin being where it is today. But in all honesty, he knew that the value of Bitcoin would go up. But today, Bitcoin is being held by a few people. It's so expensive for the majority of people to actually make meaningful, to use it as a meaningful store of value. So if you held Bitcoin today, for you to 10x Bitcoin, it's gonna take you, it's today it's at about $110,000. So most people cannot even afford that $110,000. So if you use Bitcoin as a store of value, hoping that in in maybe 10 years time, you can use it as an investment where you'll make money from Bitcoin and you can even retire or at least afford living well in life. It's not going to happen for the majority of people. The majority of people will use Bitcoin actually just for, they'll hold it because other people are holding it and everybody is hyping it. But there are few people who will make a ton load of money. People like Michael Saylor, who now owns about 5% of Bitcoins. These guys will make a ton load of money. When you hear them say Bitcoin is the only thing, all these people who hold Bitcoin, it's in their interest to make sure that Bitcoin keeps on going up and up. Not for everyday use. They don't care about you or me or just ordinary people. They don't care. They don't give a shit about that. Then they keep on hyping that Bitcoin will go up. Bitcoin will get to $1 million. So when the ordinary person hears that Bitcoin is going to get to $1 million, they're like, oh my God, I don't want to be left behind. But guys, it's only 10x. If you are an ordinary person, you don't have much money. If you put $100, which is a big sacrifice for you today, into Bitcoin, in 10 years, you're going to get $1,000. It's a lot of money. But can you afford to put $100 away today and wait for 10 years for Bitcoin to get to $1 million? So in all honesty, Bitcoin is a good investment if you have a lot of money. But when Satoshi created Bitcoin, he hoped that it will be something that will help the society. Me and you can send money to each other. Me, I can go and buy something from the grocery store. The government will not have, control of this money. But that is not what is happening today. So I believe that there needs to be an alternative where if I was to send money to you, it is cheap. Bitcoin is very expensive and it's still slow. So newer technologies have come, BNB, Solana, that have made transactional costs to be very cheap. I'm not against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is valuable. It is what has made crypto be what crypto is today. But Bitcoin is not for everyday use. Just like the way if you have gold, you're not going to use gold every single day. You'll put it in your house, hide it somewhere, and you know that the value of gold will keep on going up. That is what Bitcoin is. And Bitcoiners call it digital gold. And they're right. It's digital gold. Because many of them have turned it from something that will have been used every single day. Now it's a speculative asset. So you're holding Bitcoin for speculation. But what happens to people in developing countries? What happens to the everyday man who needs to use crypto because the value of the currency in your country keeps on depreciating? Today you hold 100 naira even in Nigeria, or dirham dirham is back to the dollar, but still even the dollar depreciates. We've seen Bitcoin appreciate over the dollar over the years. The buying power of Bitcoin over the dollar has always been increasing. So if you're holding currency in your country, the buying power of that currency keeps on depreciating because every year your government is printing money. Every single year, the government is printing money. It's making it harder and harder for you to afford things. So what is going to happen? Naturally, people will move into crypto. There is no doubt. Crypto is our future. But what crypto would you hold that you can use every single day? And at the same time, it also increases in value. Leave alone, because Bitcoin is very expensive. If you transacted with someone, the cost of transaction for Bitcoin is high. So people are holding it as gold. But we need an alternative where you can use Bitcoin, you can use crypto for every day. It keeps on appreciating and you're not afraid. You do not hold it because you want to preserve it as an asset that keeps on going up in value. You just can be able to send it to your friend. It is cheap, transactional costs, is easy. And this is something that developing countries need. Today, if you're in a country like the US, it's very easy for you to move money from one bank account to another bank account. The banking system is very easy. There are applications that you can use, Zelle, Cash App, you can use to send money to each other, and it probably costs nothing. But in developing countries, it's different. Let's say if you're in a country like Kenya where you'll use M-Pesa, there's still some cost of you sending money from one person to another. And if I have money that is just stored in M-Pesa, or in whatever digital, if you're in Philippines, you have Gcash. If you have money stored in your mobile wallet, that money is not appreciating. If anything, if you come back after 1 year, that money has actually depreciated. So the question is, what are we going to do about the initial idea that Satoshi had, which was create a currency that people can send money to each other, people can use it on a day-to-day basis, and it also has some store of value. That's what crypto is meant to be. So I strongly believe what we're doing with InVastor Coins is we've created a coin that can be used on a day-to-day basis. And we are going out, we are trying to work with leadership, we're trying to work with government. We've started with Kenya, where we're trying to talk to the leaders and tell them, look, guys, we know that with time, you will have to get into crypto. There's no doubt. The United States is leading. United States is making Bitcoin be a reserve in their treasury. So what will happen is that other countries will also follow. They will, oh, they're already even following. But just like everything else, the developing countries come in last. Be it Africa, be it Asia, be it Latin America, they always come in last. These developed countries do things, and then the developing countries realize, oh, we also need to do the same thing. So why am I talking to you guys is because you also stand an opportunity in getting into these things early. Don't wait till everybody's holding, crypto. That's a time you decide you want to hold crypto. Get into it early. Yes, it has a store of value, but InVastor Coin is one of those coins I'm passionate about. Our platform, InVastor.com, was created so that people can write content. You can write anything about, as long as it's not profanity, or things that you should not write, and a 12-year-old should not see. If it's something that you're writing that is meaningful to the society, either you're promoting your own business or you're just writing things that you believe personally can change humanity, InVastor.com is that platform, and we reward people in InVastor Coins. And we also have a marketplace that people can transact using about 400 cryptocurrencies. Do we need to do more? Yes, we need to do a lot more. But I strongly believe when Satoshi created Bitcoin, his hope was that it'll change the society. His hope was that you and me can be able to have crypto in our wallet and we can easily transact. But that's not the case, guys. The truth is that a few people will become extremely wealthy with Bitcoin. And that's not going to be you. That's not going to be me. That is some guys who are accumulating Bitcoin right now. Go check, Google, who are the biggest shareholders of Bitcoin. You'll see institutions are buying Bitcoin now. Governments are buying Bitcoin. Michael Saylor and other people who have big businesses like those ones are buying Bitcoin. So what do you think they're doing? They're waiting for you with your little money to also go and buy Bitcoin. So people will keep on buying Bitcoin because they're thinking that is the thing. But on an everyday use, Bitcoin is not something that will help you and me, the common man. I know this will get me in trouble. A lot of Bitcoiners will come to this blog or YouTube channel or even on our Twitter and write a lot of nonsense, but it's the truth. Even for them, very few of them have more than 1 or 2 Bitcoins. So their prayer is that the 1 or 2 Bitcoins they have gets to $1 million so that they get, $1 million or $2 million. But how many of you can afford to buy Bitcoins at $110,000. So I'm not against Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will do well. I believe Bitcoin is in this future of ours, and it's there to stay. But yeah, and it's there to stay. However, the truth of the matter is that Bitcoin is for a few, a selected few, and most of you won't benefit from Bitcoin. So anyway, guys, it's up to you. InVastor.com is here for the for the world to use. InVastor Coins is here for the world, and we want to make a change, and we will make a change. All right, guys, take care.